what a giant puddle of water under our fridge can teach you about business. With another moment of clarity, I'm Chris Lanning from Solar Pro. Now, this is kind of ironic because the last moment of clarity I did was talking about being prepared for the floods in your business. Little did I know it was going to be a flood in my kitchen. So this morning, Monday morning, I stumble out at 6 o'clock, headed to the kitchen to grab some breakfast, and there's a giant puddle of water under the fridge, like huge. So I grab a whole bunch of towels and my wife, and we get to work sopping up all that water. So we get it all sopped up, and while we're thinking about, what possibly could have caused this? Well, just so happens last night I changed the water filter before bed. So that was the most likely culprit. So we get everything dried up, we open the fridge to where the water filter is, and it's perfectly dry in there. Not what I was expecting. So then we start cleaning up some more stuff, moving the fridge out, making sure we get it cleaned up underneath. And we notice the water line to the fridge is a little pinched off at the spigot where it comes out. And it looks like it might be dripping a bit. So we dry it off, straighten it out, check it. Doesn't seem to be dripping, but we're not sure. Anyway, had to run my child to school. Thought, while I'm out at the hardware store, I'm going to grab a new line anyway, just in case. Get back, sure enough, we check, and yeah, it's dripping at the water line. So it turns out it wasn't the water filter, it was the water line. So I changed the water line, we come back hour after hour, absolutely no water. And so finally, just before lunch, we move everything back, clean up, move everything back, satisfied that we solved the problem. Well, we then go to get our lunch and we pull out the flex drawer, which is the drawer between the refrigerator and the freezer. And all of our sandwich stuff in there is floating. Yeah, it was full of water. So it turns out it probably was the water filter after all, that it leaked from the top, went down into that drawer, and then appeared to be dry up top. So really, what was the problem? Was it the water filter or was it the water line? The answer is both, and that's why it relates to our business. A lot of times we see something go wrong in our business and we look for the most obvious cause. Let's say, for example, all of a sudden your sales start going down and you're like, well, I just raised my prices 2 weeks ago. That's got to be the problem. And it may be. But you can't just solve for that and assume that that's going to be it. It could be if you look at your process, your funnel, your prospecting, the things that you put on your website, the marketing that you're doing. Maybe you're missing the boat there too. It could be a secondary issue that is contributing to what you have going on. In fact, you might even be able to fix some of those secondary issues, and suddenly the pricing change doesn't really matter anymore because you've done so much on the other end. So that's my point for you today. It's okay to look for the most obvious problem, but don't stop there. You need to look systemically as well and see, are there other areas that could be contributing to this issue? Now, if you want to hear more moments of clarity, head on over to gosolarpro.com/MOC. For Solar Pro, I'm Chris Lanning. Hey guys, have a great and hopefully dry day.